So let us start with the next chapter, continuity. A very simple chapter. It's basically a complete application of the limits chapter that we have already studied in our previous lectures. So let us understand what exactly is continuity. It's a very simple chapter, guys. Just a single definition that we have to remember over here, which is in two parts or in two types, I should say. And we have to apply one of the two formulas, whichever are applicable in a certain example. So let us understand what exactly is the meaning of the word continuity. Suppose if you have if fx is any function then it is said to be continuous if graph of fx has a continuous curve or a line or a straight line probably. Say for example, suppose if you have any function fx and if the graph of the function is suppose like this, or maybe the graph of the function can be increasing in this manner, or maybe if you have the function whose graph is coming down in this manner, or probably I can have something like this, a linear function. Whatever is the kind of the function, if it goes in a straight line or maybe it comes along a curve which is completely unbroken. Now when you say that there is a broken curve, so what does that mean? Let us understand that. Suppose if I have a curve which is something like this. The function is increasing up to a certain point, it breaks at a certain point and then once again changes the curve and it becomes like this. So we don't have anything in this particular location. So there is a break. So this kind of a function which has a break in between, such a function is not called as a continuous function. This is called as a discontinuous function. Whereas when you talk about the number one graph or the second or the third or the fourth, these are all having a certain continuous curve or a continuous straight line, then this kind of a function is called as a continuous function. That is a very basic definition of your continuous function. Now nobody is going to ask you to draw or to show that the curve is a continuous function. You just have a simple definition that we have to use in order to check whether the function is continuous at a certain point or it is not continuous at a certain point. In order to understand the definition of continuity, we need to understand a very important concept which is called as left hand limit and right hand limit. Let us talk about the left hand limit first. So guys, when you talk about the left hand limit, let me write the definition for you. If fx is any function and a is a point, if value of x, that is the variable, whatever is in the question, generally we have the variable x, but sometimes you may be given y or maybe m or maybe h or maybe anything. So any variable, so I am saying value of x approaches towards a from left. So now guys, if you remember your number line in your mind and you think of any number, let us say 4. So all the numbers to the left of 4, they are definitely lesser than the value of 4. All the numbers to the right of 4, they are 100% greater than the value 4. Now in this case, I am telling that the variable x is approaching towards a from the left hand side. Because it is approaching towards a from the left hand side, then obviously x has to be lesser than a, and it gives us the left hand limit. So in this case, the left hand limit is denoted as, let me represent in short, LHL is equal to limit as x tends to 0 minus of fx. The minus sign indicates x is lesser than a. This does not mean that x is negative or a is negative. Keep this thing in mind. We are just trying to indicate over here that x value is lesser than a. It does not have any indication about the value of x or a. A can be negative or positive, x can be negative or positive, but this minus does not indicate that x is negative or a is negative. So I consider over here limit as x tends to a minus of fx is a notation, simply a notation for the left hand limit, nothing else. Okay. If suppose I am told that fx is, let us say, x square minus 4, and I am given a function that x is lesser than 3. So when I know that x is lesser than 3, I should just have in my mind that the value of x is lesser than 3. So if I want to calculate the left hand limit, I will just say over here limit as x tends to 3 minus of fx is equal to limit as x tends to 3 of x square minus 4. So this 3 minus 4 is just used to indicate that x is going to be lesser than 3. When you want to substitute this in the function, that is what we call it as applying limit. What do we do in applying limit? We substitute the value of x as 3. So you will get over here 3 square minus 4 and not minus 3 square minus 4. Do not do minus 3 square. X is not negative. X is lesser than 3. That is the meaning of x tends to 3 minus. This is a very important point that I am repeating again and again so that it becomes very fit and clear inside your minds. X is not negative. Less than 3 numbers all are not negative. You have a 0 which is neither positive nor negative. You have 1 and 2 which are actually positive numbers which are lesser than 3 also. So keep this thing in mind. 3 minus or a minus in general represents x lesser than a, not negative. I hope that I am very clear to all by now. So this value will become 9 minus 4 and the answer is nothing but 5. So basically guys, this is the value of your LHL, which you call it as left hand limit. The same thing I will be again repeating for the right hand limit. So let us write the point for the right hand limit. So if you see above, we have written fx is a function and a is any point. I will write the same logic once again. If fx is any function and a is a given point or any point, whatever you write is okay, and if x approaches towards a from right. So guys, just imagine your number line once again. If I have the value of a as 5, so all the values which are to the right of 5, they are going to be definitely greater than 5. So because these values will be greater than 5, in general, if I say x is approaching towards a from the right side, then x has to be greater than a. Then the right hand limit, which is RHL, should be given by what? Limit as x tends to a plus of fx. So this is the general notation for right hand limit. Again guys, the plus sign indicates that x is going to be greater than the value of a. Now this time, suppose if I take a function like this, let me take an example for you. Fx is this time, let us say, x minus 5, and I am told over here that x is greater than minus 2. So guys, in this case, when I am given that x is greater than minus 2, it indicates that the value of x will be to the right of minus 2. It does not indicate that only all the positive values. Plus sign just is an indication, just a notation to show that your value of x is to the right side of a, nothing else. The value of x can be positive, it can be negative, depending on the condition of the question. Like I am given x is greater than negative 2. So guys, when you will substitute the value of x, you have to take negative 2. You should not take positive 2. It is just indicating that after this, all the values will be to the right of negative 2, that is greater than negative 2. So here, if I apply my limit, I will get fx is equal to minus 2 minus 5, which indicates minus 7. If you want, I will write this for you guys over here. Plus sign indicates x is greater than a. A very simple thing that we had written in the above part also. So let us write the definition. A function fx is said to be continuous at a point x is equal to a if, now see guys, there are two conditions. The first condition is that limit as x tends to a minus of fx is equal to limit as x tends to a plus of fx is equal to f of a. And the second condition is that f of a is exactly equal to limit as x tends to a of fx. Now looking at the question, we will be deciding whether we have to use the first condition or the second condition. So now the thing is how to identify whether in the question you have to apply the first or the second condition. So it is very simple guys. Let me give you a note for that. You can write over here. This is used when question is in form of inequalities. I hope you understand inequalities, less than or less than equal to, or maybe let us say greater than or greater than equal to. Then these are the inequalities if they are given to us in a certain question. Then I will say that I have to use the first condition. Whereas in case when I am given the second condition, then the question is in the form of equal to or not equal to. the question will be given, or the condition, I should say, the condition is given to us in the form of equal to or not equal to. I'll show you an example so that you understand it better. Now, see guys, let me take an example for you right here itself. Example. If I have a function fx is equal to, just observe very carefully guys, I am just taking a random function 3x plus 2 for x is not equal to, let us say, 4, and if I am given that this is equal to 15 when x is equal to 4, and I have to say check continuity of fx at x is equal to 4. Check whether the function is continuous at x is equal to 4. So friends, just let us go through the definition once again. The definition over here is telling me the function fx continuous at point x is equal to a if the two conditions over here. Looking at this, I have to decide whether the first equation, or in fact the first formula or the second formula, will get applicable in this sum. As I told you, if the condition is in the form of inequalities, I will use the first formula. If the condition is in the form of equal or not equal, then I will use the second formula. So here guys, you can observe and identify definitely you have to go for the second formula, because it is given to me not equal and equal in the condition. What is this and how should I read the question now? How should I understand the information in the question? So see guys, fx you are given two values. Fx has the value 3x plus 2 as well as the fx has value 15. Now when fx is 3x plus 2, x is not equal to 4. X is not equal to 4 indicates x will be 4 more than 4 or it will be less than 4, but we don't know, so we cannot decide whether you have to check the left hand limit or you have to check the right hand limit. Therefore guys, the first formula fails in this question. Therefore you have to go and use the second formula. In the second formula you are having two things. One is f of a and one is limit of fx. Now obviously I am sure you can definitely calculate the limit of fx without giving a lot of explanation from my side, but how will you get the value of f of a? If you observe, I am given at x is equal to 4. At x is equal to 4 is similar to at x is equal to a. What is a over here? A is 4. It means that you are given f of 4 is equal to 15, and this will be my equation 1. So guys, here becomes your value of f of a, which in this case is f of 4. So your formula f of a, here it is f of 4, and that is ready with us. Now I have to go and find the limit of the function. So that's very easy for you, I'm sure about it. Limit as x tends to 4 of fx is nothing but limit as x tends to 4 of 3x plus 2. No simplification is required. Straight away I can go and apply limit. If you directly apply the limit, you will get 4 into 3, that is 12, plus 2, that is 14. Equation number 2. Now guys, over here the limit value is 14. F of a value is 15. What do we require? We require that f of a and the limit value, they both should be equal. Are they equal over here? Absolutely not. Because they both are not equal, since limit as x tends to a of fx is not equal to f of a, I can say this from 1 and 2. Therefore, my friends, fx is a discontinuous function. we are not told to prove that it is continuous. We are told to check if it is continuous. If it would have been equal, we would have told that the function is continuous. Because it is not equal, I am just writing in short fx is discontinuous at x is equal to 4 in this case. So guys, example number 2 that you have, fx is 5x minus 2 when x is less than or equal to 2, whereas you are having fx is equal to 4x when x is greater than 2. So now looking at this, I can decide that because I am having inequalities, that is less than and greater than, so I have to use my definition number 1 or the first definition. So as per your first definition, I will have to find out the 3 things. Guys, just keep the formula page open in front of you and see how I am applying that over here. I have to find out 3 things: the left hand limit, the right hand limit, and the value of f of a. So guys, when you want to find out the left hand limit, I will say over here, limit as x tends to a minus of fx. What is the value of a in this sum, guys? I have to check the function continuity of the function at x is equal to 2. So if you want to check it at x is equal to 2, it means that your value of a over here will be equal to 2. So limit as x tends to 2 minus of fx indicates that I have to use that function for which x is less than 2, or maybe you can say less than or equal to 2, because here I am given less than or equal to. In general, it is always considered as less than. So guys, just observe and tell me which function will you apply. Obviously, you are going to apply the function number 1, which is 5x minus 2. So here it's again a very easy function. Let me straight away go and apply limit. So if you apply the limit, you will get it as 5 into 2 minus 2. 10 minus 2, that is going to be equal to 8. Give this as equation number 1. Limit as x tends to 2 minus of fx. In the same manner, now I have to find out the right hand limit. Limit as x tends to 2 plus of fx. As I told you repeatedly in the previous part, x tends to 2 plus just indicates that x has to be greater than 2. So guys, when x is greater than 2, the function value is 4x. So I will write over here, limit as x tends to 2 of 4x. So when it is 2 minus, I am using the first function. When it is 2 plus, I am using the second function, depending on the symbol or the sign for the corresponding condition of x. So here it is going to be again straight away applying limit. When you just apply the limit directly, you will get this is equal to 4 into 2, which looks like 8. So wow, these both are coming out to be equal. Now if the third part also comes out to be equal, then it is a continuous function or it is not a continuous function. Now you have to go and find out the value of f of a. What is the value of a in this function or in this question? A value is 2. So I need to find out f of 2. How do I get the value of f of 2? I am having two functions, function number 1, function number 2. I have to see the condition, in which condition the x can be 2. I can see in the first, I can say that x is lesser than 2 or x is equal to 2. So nice, over here I have now found out whether x can be equal to 2 or not. So yes, in the first function I can see that x value can be 2. So if I want to find out the value of f of a, which over here is f of 2, I will be going and using the second function. Let me write the values properly for you guys. It will be 5 into 2 and then again minus 2. That is going to be 10 minus 2, which looks like 8. Wow, so over here all the three values are exactly equal because the first left hand limit, the second the right hand limit, and the third f of a, which here is f of 2, are equal. Therefore the function is continuous. So you just have to write that over here, guys, nothing more than that. So I will say over here, since from 1, 2 and 3 limit as x tends to 2 minus of fx is exactly equal to limit as x tends to 2 plus of fx is equal to f of 2. Hence fx is continuous at x is equal to 2. Suppose if you are given a constant function. Now what is a constant function? A constant function is nothing but fx is any constant number in general. So if fx is any constant number, let us say that fx is given to be 3, or fx is given to be -5, or let us say fx is equal to e raised to -7, or fx is equal to 2 to the power -4. What are these? 3 and -5 are obviously constants. E to the power -7, that is exponential number, again a constant. 2 raised to -4, again an exponential number, which is also a constant. So when you come across this kind of a function where you are given fx is a constant number, I will always say that fx, or I can say a constant function, is a continuous function for given value of x is equal to a. A very easy thing to remember. कोई भी constant function होने दो guys, whether it is a number, whether it is exponential number, whether it is a fraction. Suppose if you have something like this 3 upon -7 या तो 3 upon 7, that also becomes a constant number which has to be continuous at any given value of x. Number 2. A polynomial function can be maybe a quadratic function or a cubic function. Suppose if you have ax square plus bx plus c as your given fx value, or maybe you can be given a cubic function which is like this, ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d as your given fx value, or any other function. Fx is maybe x raised to n into a plus b into x raised to n minus 1 and so on. In general, any polynomial function, it is a continuous function for given domain of the variable. So given domain of the variable x. Now what is the meaning of domain? Domain is nothing but set of values which may be specified. Like in the previous case, I had taken x is greater than 2, or x is lesser than 2, or x is equal to -3, or x is equal to 4, something that I had taken in the previous case. This is called as domain of x. So the polynomial function is said to be a continuous if it lies inside the given domain or in the given range of the possible values. Number 3 that you have is a rational function. Now I am sure you know what is the meaning of a rational number. Any number which is of the form of p upon q is called as a rational number. Am I right? With a condition q is not equal to 0. So same way over here I say that fx is nothing but any random px upon qx. Because I am writing it as px upon qx, so it indicates that these are the functions of the variable x. They can be algebraic, they can be polynomial, they can be logarithmic, they can be exponential, they can be constants, it can be anything, with a condition that q should not be equal to 0. Because if q becomes equal to 0, fx becomes discontinuous. So these are some basic functions and the basic points that you need to remember when we are solving our exercises. Now in the first question over here guys, you are told fx is a cubic polynomial and the value is at x is equal to 2. So guys, you don't have to just write anything. I think it is minus 2, so still no worries. Because the value of x is minus 2, I just now explained you that if fx is a polynomial function, it has to be a continuous function for any given range or the values of x or any domain of x. What is it? X is equal to negative 2. Is it a real number? Definitely that this x value minus 2 is a real number. So you just have to write a small statement over here saying that since, you can write it along with me, since fx is a polynomial function, it is continuous at, or I should say for, all x belonging to real number. Any real number of x, the function can be continuous. Therefore, fx is continuous at x is equal to negative 2. As simple as that. Nothing else you have to write or nothing to solve in this particular question. A very easy sum. In the same manner, you also have to do it for the sum number 2. Let us do that. I am given that fx is equal to x square minus 9 upon x minus 3. Now looking at this, I can identify that fx is a fraction or it is a rational number or a rational function. For a rational function to be continuous, I told you a very easy idea. What is it? The denominator should not be 0. If denominator should not be 0, you can say that x minus 3 should not be 0. If x minus 3 should not be 0, what does it indicate? X should not be equal to 3. So if variable x takes any value, any real value other than 3, this particular function will be a continuous function. So you have to write over here fx is a rational function and it is continuous if x minus 3 is not equal to 0. Therefore, x is not equal to 3. Therefore, if x belongs to R minus 3, R minus 3 indicates that I am removing the number 3 from the set of real numbers. R is real numbers, and if I say R minus 3, I am just trying to indicate that 3 is removed from the set of real numbers so that the function becomes continuous. So if x belongs to R minus 3, fx is a continuous function. So the first question of your question number 2 basically given over here, and I am given that x is less than or equal to 2 in the first case. So it can be used to calculate the left hand limit. Greater than 2, it means that it can be used to calculate the right hand limit. And here I am also given it is less than or equal to. So it can be used to calculate the value of f of a, which in this case is actually f of 2. So let us start with our left hand limit. I will get over here limit as x tends to 2 minus of fx, which is equal to limit as x tends to 2 of not fx. I should take that function for which x can be lesser than 2. So obviously I will be selecting the first function in place of fx, x cube minus 2x plus 1. Straight away go and apply limit. Nothing else you have to do in this sum. It's a very easy one. So you are given over here, this is equal to 2 cube minus 2 into 2 plus 1. So basically 8 minus 4 plus 1, which is going to be equal to 5. This has to be your equation number 1, guys, because it is your left hand limit x tends to 2 minus of fx. In the same manner, let me try to find out the right hand limit. Limit as x tends to 2 plus of fx. Now when I want to find out limit as x tends to 2 plus of fx, I have to use the function when x can be greater than 2. Do you have such a function? Yes, you do have it. The second one, 3x minus 2. Let me use that. So if I substitute, I can say over here 3 into 2 minus 2, that comes out to be equal to 6 minus 2, giving us 4, equation 2. Now guys, looking at this, I can identify that the left hand limit and the right hand limit, they both are not equal to each other. Because the left hand limit and right hand limit are not equal to each other, I don't need to sit and calculate the value of f of 2. If they would have been equal, I would have definitely calculated the value of f of 2, but here it will not be required. Therefore, directly without calculating the value of f of 2, I can say over here that from 1 and 2, limit as x tends to 2 minus of fx is not equal to limit as x tends to 2 plus of fx. Therefore, fx is discontinuous. At x is equal to 2. Just try to solve the second part, everybody, for homework, and in case you have any doubt, then let me know. So we will discuss this in the next lecture. Okay.